Hello, Beautypreneurs. Sorry about the last 2 weeks. We've been pretty crazy busy. We're working on a few things too with the Beauty Business Tribe. And also we're transitioning over to the pre-recorded sessions. So now we can get on our show more guests because now the timing can be very variable. So without further ado, let's talk about our guests in this particular episode. We'll be going over how they're both working a day job while running their business. And we're not talking about a part-time job. They're doing a full-time job, and it's totally possible if you don't think it is. Number two, they're business partners and how they make it work. You hear these crazy horror stories on, partners and best buddies, not working out, but they managed to do it. So learn and they share some of their tips and tricks on what has been working well for them and how they make it work. Number three, marketing their business on Instagram, how they market their business, and what are some of the tips that they have in getting their brand out there. And then lastly, their target market. Originally, they had one target market and how it transformed into something different slightly, and how they are utilizing that. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Welcome to the Business of Beauty, where we help beauty entrepreneurs in building their business and reaching their dreams. This is your host, David Lee. Our guest today is proud of starting their businesses in July of 2019 and made their initial investment back in only 1 month. Their superpowers is helping their clients feel comfortable while they're completely naked in the tent. So that can be really vulnerable. I totally get it. So let's welcome to the show, Kelsey and Vanessa at Bronze Allure. So thank you. Hi. So again, thank you for being on the show. I know it's pretty late. I know it's been probably a long day, but let's jump right in. So can you first tell us about the business, how you got started? Just the very beginnings of it.
So basically, this kind of just came out of nowhere for us. We didn't have a plan on starting this until about 2 months before we actually launched. So
Oh,
we went to an event in San Diego. It was it's called Wake Up to Level Up, and
okay.
it's put on by, her name is Kelly Callahan, and she started her business as a mobile spray tanning artist in San Diego.
Yeah.
And so she was putting on an event to help other beauty entrepreneurs or just women in general
Mm-hmm.
level up and just go after their dreams and their lives. And so we both decided to go to that event,
Mm.
and we met a lot of other mobile spray tanners there.
Oh, okay.
And basically, on the way back home, on the drive home after we landed back from San Diego, we were just talking about what we wanted to do with our lives and what our
Yeah.
next steps were. And we just said, let's just start a business. And so,
That's the best, right? Did you have prior experience starting a business? So this is your first.
Well, for me, it
Yeah.
hasn't. I My family has a Asian grocery store, so I've like
So it runs in the blood, right?
yeah, it runs in the blood. But
Yeah.
I told myself I would never, just because my dad works 7 days a week, and it's just so
Yeah.
much work. And then I had like a heart to heart with this girl at the Wake Up to Level event, and I mean it. I thought it was possible then, so
Hmm.
yeah, you
definitely
kind of
blessing.
just jumped on board right
Yeah,
there.
I did.
Hey, sometimes those are the best. It's just like ripping off a band-aid, right? You just go fast, or you don't want to take it slow, just go all in and you're like, okay, I'm here now. Now what? Right?
Well, when we had that initial conversation, when we said, well, we should just start our own business, at first I was thinking that might just be one of those things that, you throw out there and then it never
Hmm.
really comes to fruition. You never really do anything with it. But
Yeah.
then 2 months later, we were, buying our equipment and getting our logo and all of these things. And I was like, okay, I guess we're really doing this now.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. So prior to that, what were you two doing
So we both
work-wise? Yeah.
work. we both work full-time jobs in corporate. We still both work full-time jobs in corporate, and we're just, getting the business up and running and doing it on nights and weekends. And so working the 9 to 5 and realizing that that's not necessarily the dream of ours, flexibility and stuff.
Yeah. Wow. So now you're doing your 9 to 5 and you have your weekend. And now also night shifts too, or just the weekend?
Yeah, we do night appointments. A lot of people like to
Wow.
be tan for the weekends, so we'll have some late nights here and there.
Wow. So it's like 24/7. You're either working at your day job or you're working here, and then you might have time to eat and sleep, right? You're pretty much your shift, right?
Yeah, sometimes we don't even eat.
Yeah, the eat, what's that? Right? I totally get it. So why the spray tan? Like of all, like, I mean, you can choose a million different options, right? Starting a business. But why this?
So we both love the beauty industry in general, and mobile spray tanning, after doing some research and talking to a lot of the girls at the conference, we just saw that it was low overhead, low startup costs. It was something that we could really just jump in right away. We didn't have to do a ton of investment. We didn't have to take out loans or anything like that. And so we decided that was kind of like the perfect thing to just get our feet wet into entrepreneurship and, go from there.
Nice. So can you share, like, initially in the very beginning, did you have what was your capital? Like what did you bring to the table to buy all your equipment? You said it took you only a month to recoup all that cost, but how much did you have set aside before starting the business?
We probably set aside only about $1,000, maybe $1,500.
Okay. And did you allocate all that budget, or was most of it on equipment? Did you allocate some to like marketing, some to the software tools, like accounting? Like, how did you divvy up all the expenses?
Most of it just went to equipment and getting our logo set.
Business started, and then we would start doing spray tans, and eventually it would add up, and we would have like a good sum amount in the account. So just everything.
To be honest, there wasn't necessarily a whole lot of planning in terms
No.
Just wing it, right?
Just kind of jumped in and built the parachute on the way down.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's actually pretty common for a lot of entrepreneurs, starting off. It's, very rarely do we hear like, oh yeah, we've been planning this for like 3 years. No, it's really, okay, we're starting something small and started growing. And sometimes it has a mind of its own and it's going in another direction. So sometimes you just got to roll with the punches, right?
Right. Well, and also since we both had income coming in from our full-time jobs, it wasn't necessarily like we were strapped for cash in certain areas. So
do you have a goal, a threshold where, okay, once we hit this number, we're out, we are 100% in, we can quit our day job? Because I remember going through, so mine was a little different. I also worked in the corporate world, but I was doing something similar to you. I only had one client and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go all in. And I only lasted 3 months doing what you're doing now. And it's March of 2020 and you started this in July. So you two have been doing this while working a day job. So it's quite impressive that you're doing both for so long. So do you have like a goal or a target in mind?
I think we want to at least come close to matching. I mean, I would like to say we would like to come close to matching our salary, but if we could do this and then also have like even just a part-time job
Do you find yourself like kind of being held back because you have, during the primary, prime time, right? During the daytime, you're working, oh man, I wish I could provide more services from my main business, right? Do you find that holding you back quite a bit, or have you completely worked around that?
Yeah, we were just talking about that. There are some days with my work schedule
Yeah.
that because I work weekends, I get like a half day or I get during the week off. So
Yeah.
during that time, we try to advertise, we've got this spot available for appointments, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
But we do feel, there's some hindrance
Yes.
there.
Oh, for sure.
In terms of
Oh,
not
yeah.
really being able to be open during the daytime hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell you from experience, definitely once I left my corporate job, it was a complete 180 because now it's just like there's no parachute, right? Nothing to really fall back on. Sure, I could find another corporate job, but now you're just so much more dedicated because there's no turning back. There's only forward. So you do whatever it takes to make it a reality. So there is that drive, but just like I personally was a lot more riskier at that point. So I would recommend, for all the viewers that are watching, at least have some sort of like backup plan, nest egg, have some kind of cash, a nice list of reoccurring clients that, okay, we know that X number of clients are coming, to our business, and we can kind of depend on that. So worst case scenario, we at least can keep our lights on. So.
And with this business, there's definitely some seasonality to it. When we first launched in the summer, we were busy. And then when winter came and the colder weather was here, we definitely slowed down a lot. And so I think we kind of want to get through the first year just to see what that looks like at each season.
Now, what have been the some of the biggest challenges since starting the business last year?
I would say for me, it's just working full time and then doing it on the side because you come home from work and you're so tired, but you still have to keep working.
Yeah. So what keeps you going?
The end goal of being able to do this full time. That is the
doing
goal.
What we love.
Yeah.
Waking up excited to go spray somewhere.
Yep.
My main goal is, I've always said, is to not dread a Monday morning. Like wake up excited on a Monday morning.
Yeah, it's crazy how many people dread waking up, going to work. I'm like, you work more than you do anything else in life, and so you're dreading doing the one thing that you do most in your life. That doesn't make sense, right? So that's wonderful. What about you, Vanessa? Like, what has been some of your biggest challenges with the business? And
I would have to say the same thing. My work schedule is just super crazy, long hours. And so I would say that, and just being, I don't know, I've never thought, I would be a business owner. So there's like things I don't know, like, oh, are we supposed to do this and that? So
the learning curve.
The learning curve. Yep.
Yeah.
So just going through that, but it's been great. It's been a good journey so far.
And the learning is constant. Like you constantly have to figure stuff out along the way.
I'm just like, we're just Googling stuff as we go, right?
Yeah, Google's great. Yeah. Now, you mentioned like trying to figure out as a business owner, are there days where you're like, oh man, I'm now really a business owner, not really just an employee? Shifting that mindset, has that been a challenge sometimes? Like, do you experience like this identity crisis, like, what am I doing, and I just sometimes want to work on little widgets, was working on like little things, someone give me something to do, versus like an entrepreneur, no one's telling you what to do, right? You can do anything you want, right? But you have to have your own discipline to make sure you're going down the right path, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you experience that? How do you overcome something like that?
I would say one of the biggest differences that I've encountered with that is just not necessarily feeling like an official entrepreneur because we have a full-time job on top of the business. So it's like, oh, it's like a side hustle or it's a side gig. And so just getting into the mindset of, no, this is like a real business. This is what your goal is. You need to like stick with it. That's been kind of challenging sometimes.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. One way I would think about it is like they're paying you for your services and they're coming back for the services. So you're doing something right, right?
Yes.
Right. Um, so one of the questions that we get asked a lot is like marketing, and that's kind of how I found you guys on Instagram. So obviously you promote your business on Instagram. How has that been? Has it been helpful for your business, or is more of more of a branding? We should be on it.
I think social media marketing is so powerful, and I think every business should use social media marketing, whether it's they use one or two platforms or just focus on one. But yeah, definitely from the start, I was like, okay, we need to start with Instagram and, eventually get to Facebook and all of that. And we do ask our clients, how did you find us, or how did you hear about us? A lot of it is either word of mouth or they search hashtags on Instagram. Like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Now you're kind of restricted, right, in the geographic area, right? You're in Michigan. So like, do you get people contacting you from out of state, like, hey, I saw your post, but can you come to, I don't know, California? Like, do you get that?
we don't normally, because we specify the hashtags that we use. Like Kalamazoo spray tan or hashtag.
Nice. So that's good to know. So for our viewers that are thinking about starting their own beauty business and advertising on Instagram, so it's important to get the hashtags right?
Yeah, definitely, because that's a huge way for people to find you. If they just type in a city and then what they're looking for, your stuff is going to pop up. And I feel like a lot of people search on Instagram now, maybe even some more than on Google.
Yeah. Now, how about figuring out your target market? Do you know who your target market is now that you've been in business for a year? Even beforehand, did you have a theory of, okay, we think our target market's this, but then in reality, it was something else?
Yeah, I remember sitting down. We sat down and we literally listed out a whole avatar of who we thought we were going to talk to. And I think it's shifted a little bit now. We go toward a lot of like moms,
weddings, stuff like that.
Women that are getting married.
Yeah, we've been open to really everything. But initially, the target was girls like us who are busy. We don't have time, to stop by the spray tan or just everything nowadays is just all about convenience. So for us girls were our target. So, but we are.
But now, we have a lot of moms contacting us because they're, they're super busy and they don't have time to get a babysitter or something.
Okay. So you got moms, and then you have the weddings, right? Okay. So those are two niches that you find working pretty well. Now, I guess, how long did it take you to figure that out, or just was it like 1 month in, you're like, oh, boom, we figured it out?
No, I would say it was several months in, just because as the time went on, people were mostly booking for events, and so a lot of events were weddings. That was kind of just something that I went through when we went through our client list. And we're like, okay, where are these people booking their chance for? So
we're also looking to hit like other markets as well, like sororities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of those girls are ready for a spray tan for their formals and everything like that. So we're always looking.
Yeah, girls that are into events.
Now, okay, so this is very good. Now, I'm no expert in spray tanning. I'll be honest, I have not done that before. So can you tell us a little bit more about your service, your spray tanning piece, and how it differentiates from some of the other options that people can basically produce the same results, right? What makes you or your service special?
Yeah, so our ingredients are naturally derived, and so it's vegan free, paraben free. A lot of the girls nowadays are very particular on that, so that's something that differentiates us, and just the fact that we go to your home, to your office, wherever you need us to be. We are completely mobile, so we would just pop up our tent in your living room or your kitchen, wherever, and it's just all about the convenience, you know?
Yeah, it takes about 30 minutes from setup to take down to do one girl, so it's super fast, it's super easy, and we also always customize the tans. So some girls don't want to be super tan, some girls just want a healthy glow, and so definitely, you know, customize that for them.
So, you know, I see like the tanning salons. Would that be a competitor to you, or is it like the market is so different that people that go to the tanning salons wouldn't necessarily get a spray tan or vice versa?
Yeah, I think the girls that go to us versus the tanning beds specifically are more conscious about the health of their skin, getting sun damage, skin cancer, the ingredients that they're putting on their skin, and so there's definitely a different market for those two things.
Got it. And then I'm just out of curiosity, how long does this tan stay on the skin? How long do they stay tan?
Yes.
That's like your number one question.
Number one question.
So like 5 to 10 days, just
Okay.
how you take care of it, right? So if you stay hydrated and moisturized and all of that, as well as if you follow our post and pre instructions, then it'll fade evenly.
Yeah.
Okay. So 5 to 10 days.
Yeah.
Nice. So your pricing, let's talk about the pricing model. Do you have like a single like per price, fixed price? Do you have like a monthly subscription? Like how does your pricing model work?
Yep, we have a single price point for single tans, and then we also offer packages and group rates for spray tan parties. Since we do focus on weddings and events, we find that it's really convenient for our clients who have bridal parties that want to get all of the girls together and do spray tans. So we do offer group rates, and then packages are nice because it gives a little bit of a discount on price, but also, you know, you can schedule out your tans. So.
Okay, so like what do you mean by package? Is like package like a more than one tan at a time, or is it like different add-ons or elements of the tan in the package?
Yeah, the package, we offer a package for 2 tans at a certain price and then 3 tans at a certain price.
Okay. Do you have any subscriptions? Like since like your tans are every 5 to 10 days, right? So could you go like every 7 days or every 10 days kind of subscription, or twice a month? Or is that really part of the package that you're pushing for?
I've thought about looking into
really
like
good idea.
memberships and subscriptions and stuff like that, but right now we just haven't dove into that because of the technology aspect, and we don't have a website yet, and so getting people's information stored to, you know, continuously support their.
Oh yeah, that like the reoccurring model and charging on a monthly basis. Yeah, okay, totally get it. Now, how did you come up with the pricing? Did you have a mentor that kind of taught you like, hey, this is the model, like in California when you went to the show, or did you look at other websites and look at their pricing and their structure? Like, how did you figure out your own pricing?
Yeah, we're involved in a group that's from like a Facebook group.
Okay.
That was formed around the event that we went to in San Diego.
Ah.
And a lot of spray tanners in there, and they offer a lot of information to help guide each other, you know, support each other. And
Nice.
so kind of base our pricing off of other areas because there isn't really a mobile spray tanning option, you know, besides us around here. So we kind of
Wow, you have a monopoly, right?
we kind of modeled that off of some other spray tan artists that we know.
So I guess is it a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, sometimes like if there isn't any, people might not understand the concept, they don't know it. But since there's no one else, you are the only company in this area that can do it. So I mean, do you look at that as good or bad?
I look at it as good because people are very intrigued by it whenever we tell them about it. They're like, "Oh, that's such a good idea," and we're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, right."
Yeah.
We thought so too.
Yeah, so I think it's a good thing.
Nice. Now, so now, where's your business at? Like from like, do you get most of your clients through referrals now, word of mouth? You have a set client base. Like, how are you driving your business? Because like in business in general, like if you're not growing, you're really dying, right? It's just like business. To me, it's that you're constantly kind of like under pressure, and you're constantly either shrinking if you're not, at that point of you're constantly pouring the coal into the fire, right? So what are you doing to pour coal in the fire or put gas in your vehicle, right, to keep it going?
Yeah, we've been, we have a solid client base right now, but we just consistently work on investing back into the business. So since we've been slower now, we've been creating content for Instagram. We've been going to a lot of trade shows, setting up our booth there, talking to a variety of different audiences.
Okay. Now, speaking of trade shows, now something a little more relevant. I'm sure we heard about all this like bug going around, right? Do you see this potentially as, oh, you know what? This might not be that bad because no one wants to leave their house. So we'll go to their house and help them out. Like, how do you see this being, do you see this impacting your business at all? Or is there some pros or cons to this? What's happening globally, really?
I mean, I haven't honestly really thought about it. But
This is the stuff that keeps me up at night. You're like, oh my God, what's going on, right? Because that could have other impacts to the business.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I think a lot of people are more conscious about staying home for sure. And so being able to have a mobile business come to you.
Yeah.
Is definitely
so that might be an idea. You can promote that, advertise that. Hey, let us come to you. You don't have to leave your house. Stay safe, right? But also, like the trade shows, there might not be as many people going to the trade shows now. I've heard a lot of conferences have been canceled because of what's been going around. So that's something to think about, right?
Right.
Now, so what are your plans for the rest of 2020 going on to, the next year, 3 years, 5 years?
We definitely want to be able to continue to grow our client base so that we can bring on some more girls and expand into other territories, and also take a step back at some point during the next couple of years and take more of like a managerial role on the company and just kind of like oversee the tanning instead of actually now and doing the tanning so much.
Do you foresee turning your business more of a franchise model then, or a licensing model?
I don't know if we would ever want to do that. I mean, it's definitely a possibility, but I think we want to keep it. We go by the bronze besties, so we want it to feel small, and I don't know if that model would necessarily be able to do that.
Okay. So you want more of like a family business kind of, very, very close niche. Okay. So, I get it. Okay. So I guess any advice to all of our listeners that's thinking about starting their business and they're working a 9 to 5, right? Any advice to our viewers?
I would say just do it.
Yeah.
And just hustle. Honestly. There's going to be days it's going to be long, but honestly, you just have to think about the end goal, the positive. Yeah. And we have each other, which is really nice. Because who else has their best friend working with you, right? And so...
But if you don't work with your best friend, I definitely always recommend to find a group that you can insert yourself in that supports you and mentors you, because that is so helpful. You never want to do something on your own, whether it's, you just join a Facebook group or something like that. But
Yeah, okay. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much. And now, since you mention it, so you two are very fortunate to have each other, you know, best friends working in a business. Now people hear about horror stories about partnerships and going into a business and their friendship being torn apart because of the business aspects. Do you have those concerns? How, you know, how would you overcome that? You know, for others that are thinking about finding a partner, finding a business partner, right? With their business.
I feel like you just have to find someone that, like, I feel like it's like very leveled. Like, I do a lot of like the back end, like organizing work. She does a lot of like the marketing. You just have to find that person that levels you. I can't even think of that word. What is that word?
Compliments, right?
Balance! Oh my gosh!
Balance.
Can you tell how tired I am?
I totally get it. Yeah. You compliment each other, balances each other. So, but one of the key takeaway I noticed what you just mentioned is not necessarily you're both doing the same thing. It just so happens that you divided the tasks, divided the responsibilities. Okay, you know, one person does all these things and the other person does all these other things, so you don't step on each other's toes. Right?
Yeah, and that kind of actually happened pretty naturally. But I think that if that isn't something that happens naturally, then there should definitely be communication about what the tasks are going to be from the very beginning, so that each person knows where it should be.
So on that note, with communication, do you talk to each other once a week and call it a day? Like, hey, here's the clients, bye. All right. How exactly does communication work in a partnership?
We talk every single day.
Like
Every single day. All right. I hope you guys are hearing this. It's not that easy. You have to talk to the other person every single day.
every day.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Any other tips or advice for our viewers, like maybe a book or a quote or anything that really help you through your journey and continue your journey in your entrepreneurial journey, I guess, life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really big into podcasts, so I love staying educated on, you know, marketing or entrepreneurship through podcasts.
Oh, any good podcasts, like recommendations?
I would say a good podcast is Jenna Kutcher's Goal Digger podcast, and also the Mind Your Business podcast is really good.
Great. Yeah, we'll be sure to put that in the comments or the show notes. So for the viewers that are watching, they can click on that. Okay. And Vanessa, anything from any recommendations from you?
I don't really do like podcasts or anything like that. She got me hooked on Kelly Callahan and a few others, but I'm still working my way there.
No worries. You know, like for me, it's audiobooks. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Of course, you know, just doing a lot of research. You know, Google's my friend. You know, just the constant learning, right? Now you mentioned trade shows, right? Do you go to the trade shows to provide service, or do you go to the trade shows to educate, workshops like training to help improve your business?
Yeah, we normally just go for education-wise to, you know, provide information to the public about what we offer, but we always do a giveaway at the table. So we give away a free screen whenever we go.
Yeah, the goal is just to get our brand out there. They don't necessarily have to, you know, book a spray tan that instant. It's just, you know, they'll have us on the back of their mind.
Yeah, top of mind.
Yeah, top of mind.
Nice. Well, I guess thank you so much for being on the show. Well, we'll have this session ready. Let's see, what day is today? Today is, I'm losing track. Oh yeah, Tuesday, right? So yeah, by the end of the week, we'll have the show up, and yeah, look forward to it. Feel free to share it. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.